Hello again, it's Julie with Arty Paints, and today I'm going to show you two different versions of the sunset design. The first one's a little more elaborate, and the second is so fast that you can do it in under a minute. So you're going to need your Arty Cakes today. Let's get started. So today we're going to use this cake called Papaya Party. This is for our second one, so you don't need it right now, but just so you know the name. We're also going to need black and white, wolf, or diamond FX, as always, very useful. This one is called Juicy Fruit, and I use it a lot, as you can tell. It's kind of running out, but we still have enough to make our sunset today. This one we're going to use for our first elaborate version here, and it's called Blueberry. Any version will do if it has white, light blue, or dark blue. And then finally you're going to need some red if you want to make flowers around this first one. So to start with, you're going to take a pottery sponge like you get from Michael's and chop it into quarters like I have here. You're going to spritz your sponge just to get it a little bit wet. And you're going to also spritz your cake so that it loosens up some of the paint on there. And then you're going to load up your brush with those beautiful neon colors, getting full coverage across that sponge. And to start out, you are going to pivot this around in a circle like that. So you're going to try and keep the lightest part on the bottom in one place and move it around, just dab it around, pushing pretty hard down to get all that paint out. There you go. So you've done your half circle there. That's going to be your base. This is the point that I add glitter while it's still a little bit wet. It's always better to be too dry than too wet, because if this was too wet, I would have to wait until it dries a little bit to be able to do the next step, which is the wave. And we're going to use, I use a large round filbert for this one. This is the biggest size filbert that I have. You can also use a 1-inch flat if you don't have one of these. And you're going to load up your blueberry, just like that. And we're going to overlap just a little bit on the purple, start from a little bit less than the middle, and you're going to curve a backwards C right around there, and one more, just like that. So then you have your little double backwards C. That's going to be your wave. And then while that's drying, you take your, this is a number 4 round liner brush, load that up with black. You're going to create a little bump for the island right there. It's kind of off in the distance. And you're going to do, for the palm tree trunks, you're going to go very gently and you're going to curve, start very gently and then push down a little harder as you get towards the island. That'll create the shape of a trunk where it gets thinner at the top. So once again, lightly start and then push down a little harder as you get closer to the island. There's that. And now to create your palm fronds, just pull down all around it, just like that. Once more for the bigger one. Do about 5 of those. Very cute. And now to make it fancy, you're going to load up your white. This is slightly less pointy than my liner brush. It's a low Cornell number 4. I love these for my white. I use them for almost everything. And you're going to curve this back around too. You're going to kind of follow the same curve that your wave does. Just like that. Make some teardrop shapes there. And once more on the smaller wave. And we're going to come up from the bottom, make those same teardrops, pulling up and flicking out to give it a really nice fine thin end. Sometimes I'll do a little curly Q right here too. Some dots. I'm going to add a few more dots right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. That looks good. You can kind of dress that up however you like. And now you can either continue with this brush all white and do stars around it here. I find that more boys will get it if it has stars around it. Or you can do fancy flowers, which I love. We're going to do those right now. This is where you're going to need your red. But you're going to use this same brush and you're going to fully load it all the way up to the middle with white. So all the way up, all those bristles is white. And now you're going to tip just the very tippy tip of it in red, so that you have this double loaded brush. See how the tip is just red and the rest of it's white? And to create our fast and fabulous flowers, you're going to once again kind of pivot around the center, leaving the middle red. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There's one flower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once more right here, kind of circling and framing that sunset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got a fast flower. You can also add little petals to help fill in that space. Just free falling petals. Kind of like that. And to finish this off, all you need to do is give those flowers a center. Just rinse out the red from your brush, so now it's fully white again. Give it a little dot in the center. And maybe a couple little sparkly dots around the outside to help frame it. And there you have a very beautiful and super fast sunset design with lots of colors going on. It looks really impressive, but it really doesn't take too much effort. So that's version number 1. Now we're going to look at version number 2. Okay, so for version number 2, we're only going to need our black and our white, as well as our rainbow cake for sunset. This one's called Papaya Party once again. You're going to take your 1-inch flat brush. You're going to fully load that with your Papaya Party color, or sunset color, or rainbow, or whatever choice you make for color. Load that 1 inch up. And then you're going to take the arm and you're going to pivot this around in a half circle. So you're going to leave that lightest edge where it is, and you're going to pull it around into a circle like that. And you can kind of go back to adjust if there's too much or too little paint in any one area. So there you have your, this is going to be your sunset shape. Now before you go move on to the next part, you want to make sure that it's at least a little bit dry. You can see the sheen on it is pretty matte. If it still looks very wet, you're going to need to wait just a minute. So this is also a good time to put on the glitter while it's still a little wet. Once again, that's Mama Clown's White Fairy Dust Cosmetic Glitter. And now you're going to use your liner brush. Mine's a number 4. Load that up with your black. You're going to make a little bump for the island right there. And if your paint is still too wet on your sunset here, that's going to bleed, the black is going to bleed into the rest of the colors. So you want to make sure it's just a little bit dry. And now you're going to do the same thing as you did for the palm trees in the last one. Gently pull down and then push harder as you get back to the middle, to the island. Once more, gentle, and then push harder. Make those little palm fronds. They can stick out past the edge of the sunset if you want. There's that. And now to finish this design off, you're just going to add sparkles around it. You could also do the flowers, but sparkles are faster because they're only one color. So fully load your white brush there. Make some stars with 5 points. Maybe 3 of them. Bum, 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 bum. However many you think looks good. Add some little dots, and there you have it. There is a very, very fast sunset design that's really popular, and you can do it in under a minute because it only takes 3 brushes. So, hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this sunset tutorial. And if you want more, you can always comment with something you'd like to see, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much. See you next time.